We're now live on Facebook and YouTube.
Perfect.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I am Will Johnson, owner of FYPM Staffing and Finding Your Personnel Management. You also see somebody you see on my page a lot. Her name is Latoya Golden. Go ahead and tell them about yourself, Latoya.
Yes, so my name is Latoya Sutton. I am the founder and CEO of Global Placement Services. I know you said my maiden name, it's okay. We do have a recruiting academy for those who are interested in being recruiters, and we also do resume writing as
Okay, so sorry. I knew her before she got married. Sorry. Um, let's go ahead and we're going to jump into the title. The title today is um, we're going to lessons for new recruiters.
well. Okay.
So we're going to give them some examples, and I'm going to ask three questions that were asked of me, but I've reworded them. And all of this came from Instagram.
Okay.
What is the first big lesson that you learned? One or two lessons that you learned.
In the workforce as a recruiter,
We're going straight off recruiting, like early recruiting days.
what did I learn?
Mhm.
Um, Not to take the work personally, not to take it to heart. You know, when I first got into the in the recruitment industry, I used to take it to heart all the time because I truly wanted the best for people, and at times the people did not want the best for themselves. So, I was one of those recruiters who always got burned by candidates. So, not taking their drug screening, not showing up to work on time, no shows and interviews, and I gave people a chance after chance because I really see potential in them and I wanted them to grow and develop within their career. But they didn't want that for themselves. So I will say one thing that I did learn is, not to take it personally and allow people to be where they are. Like I can't, help someone grow if they don't desire to.
Completely understand. Completely understand. My first big lesson is this is still a customer service business. That's
Mm,
one of the first things because, as we both know, if the candidate, which is now our customer, isn't happy, they like to shoot off emails. And those emails, people will try to find the president of your company, the VPs, owners, and send those off immediately.
yeah.
So that's one of the first big lessons that I learned. What would you tell your new recruiter self now that you didn't know? Like, what do you know now that you wish you knew way back then?
The work is always going to be there. The work is always going to be there. And I still tell myself that today because, my goal is to get through as many jobs as I can, getting them closed, hiring people, helping them find their career. And I will stay late. So at one point in time, when I was in my first year of recruiting, I was in a general staff. And I used to go to work from 8 a.m. and I would not leave until 8 or 9 p.m. Like literally, that was my second home. I lived there. My job was my second home. The people I worked with were my family because I was there so long, not realizing no much how much effort I put in closing a position or helping people. The job is still going to be there. So the job was still there. Uh, Tomorrow, next week, and things happen. People quit, then a new job opens, or people take other opportunities. So one thing that I wish I told myself is cut it off when it needs to be cut off and resume tomorrow. Work-life balance is definitely important. And like I tell myself every single day, if I am not my best self, then I'm not going to be able to perform. I'm not going to be the best person
Okay,
through the job. Yeah.
excellent. Because I definitely wholeheartedly agree with that. Me and you talk about that all the time. I
Yes.
would tell myself not to take all the lying personally. So, as a recruiter, and I'm talking about candidates and hiring managers, I'm gonna go with both sides. Candidates
Okay.
will tell you, I'm getting ready to fill out my paperwork today for 5 straight days, or I'm going to go take the drug test, or, oh, no problem, I can definitely pass a background. We get into that all the time. So, that's things that I would definitely um, switch up. Also, something that we're told a lot is from hiring managers, oh, we're going to set up interviews on this day. We're going to do this on this day, things of that nature. There are just the hiring manager forgets, gets caught up into a meeting, and we're trying to wait to hear just like the candidate is. So those are some of the things that I would tell myself, like, hey, there are just times where you're not going to get what you need to on those days. There are days where it's like you feel like you didn't help anybody. Just period, point blank, but just kind of be prepared for the next segments that's coming up. And like you said, work is always going to be there. Something else is always going to come up. Always.
Yeah.
So this one, I want, if you can, give me a story.
Okay.
And actually, I'll go first because I have my story already ready. So when I'm telling my story, you put your story together. What is the biggest recruitment disappointment or lesson? And this is my story, and you have heard this. And I'm going to tie this into what me and you talk about a lot when we try to help you. So I'm not going to say the name of the company, but me and you didn't work together here. This is where I actually met. This is where I met Penny. And some of you guys have seen Penny on some of our earlier broadcasts. I'm a diversity recruiter, full cycle. I am told that we have, for every one white male, we have to find 2 people of color or women. I have 1 rec. I feel like 10 or 12 recs, like within a couple of weeks, like bang, 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 bang. 1 rec. And this is the rec which made me want to leave the company. So I find 3 African-American women. And I'm in those meetings that we talk about. So one has 20 years of experience. The other 2 have at least 15. All of them have their master's degrees. The hiring manager, when we get into the first meeting, says, why would you send me this candidate? This resume has so many misspelled words. I said, pull it up now. The 2 words that were misspelled was her first name and her street address. 2 words are misspelled, but we're in the meeting and he's saying, why would you send me this? Her resume is terrible. 3 women show up Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have to make a hire by not that Friday, but the next Friday. The hiring manager got upset because 2 of the women were not at least a half hour early to the interview. Please remember this part of the story. He was upset that they were not a half hour early to the interview. They go through the interview process. He's like, they're all right, but it's not what I want.
What was wrong?
He never gave, I asked for concrete. He never gave me anything concrete. And this story still frustrates me to this day. They're all right. The job you only
let me fix my face because telling my
So the job now, when we talk about job description, we talk about this a lot. The job description said you had to have 3 to 5 years of experience. So that next Monday, I'm sending out emails. I get a call. Hey, we have a referral. I look at the resume. The guy literally graduated less than 2 weeks ago. The job description said you need to have 3 years of experience, but he's a referral. Set him up for an interview that next Monday. Keep in mind, the job was supposed to be filled that Friday. They're making an exception. His roommates, and I only know this because I'll tell you it was a mad dash that Monday. He was scheduled for this Monday. The roommate says, hey, you going to the interview tomorrow? He said, no, nobody called me to remind me. Monday comes around. There's a mad dash. Where's this guy at? Will, what's going on? Why isn't he here? And I said, I'm not part of the team that's the scheduling team. I handed him off to the scheduling team. Scheduling team calls him. He says, nobody reminded me to come to the interview. So he blew it off. They let him come back on Wednesday. 3 African-American women, 2 of them were 20 minutes early, and the hiring manager were upset that they weren't there 30 minutes prior. Somebody of a different race says, you guys did not call me to remind me. And they allowed him to reschedule his interview. I'm upset. I'm livid at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And interviews, they offer him the job.
How was he 30 minutes early for his next interview?
I don't know, but I know he was 2 days late. He was scheduled for Monday.
Yeah.
So 2 days late. So we're gonna let the 30 minutes go because he was 2 days late.
Okay.
I talked to you about this. I talked to other recruiters. I was so done because as a diversity recruiter, my job is to find the best talent. And I have to find talent because more than likely the company's in trouble because they don't have enough diversity. So I found 3 people who are overqualified, and the guy who was underqualified was chosen because he was a referral. The lesson I learned there, well, it's not even a lesson, it was just disappointment across the board. I was done with the company. I will not eat at any of their restaurants. Like, I'm that person. I can't deal with that. I'm still frustrated to this day, but I'm a lot better because when I first told this story, people were like, I cannot believe that. It's just ridiculous. So that's one of the biggest disappointments I've ever gone through. I did everything to do. I mean, I searched. I did not take any time off in making sure I found the best candidates, and clearly the worst candidate was chosen.
Yeah.
So what would be your story? What would be like biggest disappointment and biggest lesson learned in like a recruiting story for you?
I have so many. I don't even know where to start, but I can mention one of the recent ones, maybe like a few months ago or a year ago. So we were working at the same organization, and we've had many, many talks. Now, one big disappointment for me was the pushing of start dates. So let's say if, Wilfred, I give you a call, I'm enthusiastic, you're excited, start your new position, you are expected to start on Monday, right? Let's say I called you on a Wednesday. Now I'm giving you a call on Friday to let you know that I'm going to push your start date the following week. Then I'm giving you a call the next week and letting you know that I need to push your start date again. And then again, and then a month out, and then 2 months out. Now, remind you, these were multiple people. Now, this was around the time of the holidays. So we had Thanksgiving holiday, we had Christmas holiday, and the organization kept pushing these people's start dates, which to me, if you're not ready to hire, don't hire. If you're not ready to hire, do not hire. Do not mess up anyone's lives. And I felt so unhappy. I didn't feel fulfilled. It was, that part is not my passion, the reason why I got into the industry. But I would say that was my biggest disappointment, was the organization not caring about the employees who carry the organization. Like, you're constantly pushing their start dates back a month or 2 months. Christmas, people left their jobs for this job and now they're out of work. Like, I even had a candidate that had to file for unemployment until we were ready to bring her on board. So, it's being that counselor and, compassionate and understanding where they are. But these candidates think it's you as a recruiter that's doing these and making these decisions. We're not the ones making the decisions. It's coming from, higher ups when a situation happens. And then it causes a bad candidate experience. And then they want to blame the recruiters. And it's not the recruiters. It's coming from another level, or higher level, in regards to those decisions of pushing your start date back. And I left that organization. I will not help them anymore, because not only did they do it one time, they did it twice. And once it's repetitive and it doesn't match my values, and I leave. Exactly what happened. Now, I was disappointed, but they were very disappointed once I left.
Just to piggyback on what you said, you were lucky it was only twice for you. I had whole pushback. Remember, I had whole states pushback. Pennsylvania.
Oh, you had to do the whole
all the stores in the entire state were pushed back. The 5 that we started, and we lost half the candidates and had to start from scratch. So I understand, because now people think that you're joking or this is not a real job offer.
or it's not a real organization. Like
Yes.
that, those decisions from those leaders cause horrible reviews. And
Mhm.
at times, I don't think the CEO realized or was not listening to his employees and also his customers, and not listening to the reviews that were being posted to make his organization better. But yet he chose to listen to leaders who did not know anything about the organization, and they were affecting people's lives. And I'm a strong believer what goes around comes around, and I always believe that. And so I always make sure I do my best. I put 100% in everything that I do to help people. But that was a very frustrating and disappointing time as a recruiter. I don't play with people's lives.
Right, definitely. Because people do leave jobs to go to other jobs because they think they're going to a better situation. Sorry about that. So I completely understand. One last bonus question.
Mhm.
Why did you get into the industry and what has kept you into the industry? So a two-part bonus question.
That's a good question. So, how did I get in? You asked me how I got into the industry and what kept me?
Yes.
Okay. So, how did I get into recruiting? Oh, I started off as an assistant career services director for a college. And at the time, I had to do partnerships with organizations to do placements for new grads, whether it was an internship or their first job. So I had the opposite side of it from staffing. It was reversed. It was reversed. So I got into that, and then it kind of fell into my lap. I kind of ran into a recruiter who worked for Aerial Tech at the time, and he was telling me what he do there, how he helped people. And at the time, I was still trying to figure out what my passion was, what I wanted to do for a living, what I wanted my career to be. And I ended up working at a staffing agency. It was a general staffing agency, and at the time I was like, what did I get myself into? Because it was so much work, a lot of work, and you deal with so many different types of people and personalities. I'm a very adaptable person, so I will say if you get into recruitment, you have to have adaptability. That's the number one thing, and flexibility when you get into the industry. So that's how I kind of got into the industry. I started off in career services, and the recruitment role kind of just fell into my lap. Now, what kept me into the industry is my passion, my purpose, and truly helping people. Now, I go the extra mile. I'm not the recruiter to just interview you and then I pass you along. Like, I literally coach you if you are open to it. I assist you with creating a brand new resume to stand out from what I know your competitors are. And I help you get in front of, the decision maker for the industry that are looking to get into. But that's
Okay.
how I got into it. That's what came me.
Okay. I got into the industry because I was in retail management and I was
Mhm.
exhausted. I was working 80 to 100 hours a week, every week, open to close most places. And I thought I knew what recruiting was because, we had the ATS because I'm a store manager. So I could just go through and look for people that I want to interview them and say yay or nay. And I thought that's all recruiting was. So when the job came up, I'm
Really?
like, sure, I know how to do that. That's easy. The hard way, that's not what recruiting was. That's literally how I got into recruiting. What kept me is I like helping people and the relationship building. Not just for recruiters like yourself, but we have a lot of friends who are recruiters that we can call on. Um, Also, like the first couple people that I ever recruited were still really good friends. I have their numbers, LinkedIn, but also just helping people get to the next level, helping you get to entry level to lower management to middle management to upper management. And like yourself, I will sit there and we will coach you. We're not just
Mm-hmm.
pass you to the hiring manager. I don't want to send you to the hiring manager for you to be disappointed. I want to make sure that you're ready to talk to the hiring manager. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sending people who I don't think are quality candidates. That is the
Mm-hmm.
one thing that frustrates me about a lot of people because I don't believe everybody has those same values and those same goals, just to be completely honest. And that's on me and you being recruited to companies, and we have the conversations like you will not believe what they just did. So that is why I have stayed in recruitment. So hopefully people who are early in recruiting have watched this and will definitely write some questions down when they have them. Also, I'm going to piggyback and give something to Latoya. New recruiters, if you're really interested in recruiting, within the next 3 months, Latoya is going to tell you one of the tools that you can use to get into recruiting. Go ahead, Latoya.
So we have a recruiting academy called Global Placement. Recruiting Academy, it prepares you to be a recruiter on both ends, how to deal with hiring managers, how to effectively shoot resumes, how to be an effective interviewer, and even a bonus to be prepare you to be a certified resume writer. So we will have that opening up to the public where you can enroll. There's also a bonus. So once you complete the academy, if you're interested in being a contractor under Global Placement Service organization service, we can hire you as a contractor. Of course, you have to go through the interviewing process, which you will learn through the recruiting academy. So you hire Global Placement to start your career off, either in a specialty or in general staffing.
Okay, so that's all we have for today. Latoya, let them know where they can reach you at.
At Global Placement Services. You can also email us at info@globalplacementservice without the S on the end.com. So info@globalplacementservice.com. Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn at Global Placement Service.
Okay. And again, thank you so much for coming to my channel.
Thank you.
What's going on next week? Next Thursday?
Next Thursday, there's nothing scheduled for next Thursday.
Not yet. Okay, perfect.
We're going to resume the first week of June.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to shout your show out if you're going to have one next week. Again, thank you so much for coming to my channel. Again, I'm Will Johnson. I can be found at FYPM_staffing on IG, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and coming soon, I will have a TikTok. And on Facebook, it is Finding Your Personnel Management, LLC. Thank you so much for coming. See you soon.
Thank you for having us. Bye-bye.
Bye.